From humble beginnings to global dominance, the story of America is unlike any other, a land of freedom, opportunity, and power. Tonight, we will explore how America became the most powerful nation on Earth. It all began in 1776. 13 colonies, tired of British rule, declared independence. Led by George Washington, ordinary farmers and soldiers stood up against the mighty British Empire. Against all odds, they won. With victory came a new challenge: building a nation. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights gave America a foundation of democracy and freedom. These values would shape the country forever. In the 19th century, America looked west. Through the Louisiana Purchase, new territories doubled the nation's size. The dream of manifest destiny pushed settlers to conquer vast lands. The Industrial Revolution turned America into an economic powerhouse. Factories, railroads, and booming cities created jobs and wealth. But America's rise was not without pain. In 1861, the nation was torn apart by civil war, North versus South, brother against brother. Lincoln's vision preserved the Union and ended slavery. Out of bloodshed came a stronger, united America. By the 20th century, America was ready to lead the world. In World War I, American soldiers turned the tide for the Allies. Then came World War II. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, America unleashed its full strength. From D-Day to the Pacific, U.S. power reshaped the world. When the war ended, America stood tall as the strongest nation on Earth. But victory brought new rivals. The Cold War with the Soviet Union divided the world: capitalism versus communism. America led with strength, military bases worldwide, nuclear power, and the ultimate victory in space: the moon landing in 1969. Beyond the battlefield, America shaped culture and technology. Silicon Valley gave birth to computers, the internet, and smartphones. Hollywood movies and American music reached every corner of the globe. The US dollar became the strongest currency, and American lifestyle became a global dream. But power comes with challenges. The 9/11 attacks shocked the nation. Wars in Afghanistan and Iraq tested America's strength. Today, new rivals like China rise, while political and social challenges test America at home. Yet, America remains a symbol of innovation, freedom, and resilience. From 13 colonies to a global superpower, America's story is one of courage, struggle, and triumph. The future may be uncertain, but one thing is clear: America's power, influence, and spirit will continue to shape the world. The idea of the American dream shaped millions of lives. From poor immigrants arriving at Ellis Island to modern entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, America promised opportunity. But the dream was not equal for all. Struggles with poverty, racism, and inequality remain part of the story. In the 1960s, America faced its own moral test: civil rights. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. dreamed of a country where all people were equal. The fight for women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and freedom of speech also reshaped America's identity. From the light bulb to the iPhone, American innovation changed the world. Names like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Steve Jobs, and Elon Musk represent the spirit of invention. And in space, America's NASA led humanity to the moon. Today, the dream is Mars. After World War II, America fought in Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Some wars were victories, others left questions. Yet, through NATO, the United Nations, and global alliances, America became the world's leader. Sometimes loved, sometimes hated. American culture became global culture. Jazz, rock and roll, hip-hop, Hollywood movies, fast food, sports like basketball and American football. From Mickey Mouse to Marvel superheroes, America's stories reached every home on Earth. No superpower rises without challenges. The Great Depression of the 1930s brought hunger and despair. The 9/11 terrorist attacks shook the nation. The 2008 financial crisis tested its economy. But each time, America rebuilt stronger, proving its resilience. In the 21st century, America faces internal struggles: political polarization, racial tensions, and debates about immigration, healthcare, and freedom. Yet, democracy remains America's foundation, and every election shapes the nation's future. As new powers like China rise, many wonder, will America remain the strongest? Technology, military, and culture still keep the United States at the top, but the world is changing. Climate change, global pandemics, and new technologies will decide the next chapter. But one thing is certain. America's story is far from over. From colonies to superpower, from slavery to civil rights, from the Great Depression to Silicon Valley, America's journey is a story of triumph and tragedy, of unity and division. But above all, it is a story of power, the power to change the world. There's a moment, right before the storm arrives, when the air goes still. The birds stop singing and the sky holds its breath. America had a moment like that once, before it became a superpower, before it became the idea of power itself. But power doesn't rise by accident. It climbs, on stories, on struggle, and sometimes on silence. In the early 20th century, America was not yet America as we imagine it today. It was a patchwork. A nation still young, still unsure, still asking the world for permission. Europe ruled the seas. The British Empire painted the map red. And across the Atlantic, no one feared the quiet giant in the West. But something was brewing. Something invisible. You could hear it in the whir of factories, feel it in the fingertips of immigrants stepping onto Ellis Island, chasing something no one could quite name, only believe in. It was the promise. And beneath it, a machine was starting to hum. Then came war, the kind that turns soil into graves and men into myths. World War I cracked open the old world, and America, hesitant at first, stepped in. Just long enough to tip the balance. But it was World War II that transformed America. Pearl Harbor was the match. What followed was fire. The nation mobilized like nothing in human history. Factories turned out tanks like toys. Women rolled up sleeves, stepped into steel plants, and remade the economy. Men stormed beaches, not just with bullets, but with the weight of a country that had decided, we will not sit quietly anymore. By 1945, America had done something no other nation had done before. It had defeated fascism, harnessed the atom, and become the architect of a new world. Here's the strange thing about American power. It doesn't always look like conquest. There are no crowns, no thrones. It looks like jeans. It sounds like jazz. It tastes like Coca-Cola. The US didn't just export goods, it exported dreams. The American dream, packaged in Hollywood reels and rock and roll records, found its way into the hearts of millions who had never even seen the Statue of Liberty. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, a different kind of empire was growing, one of influence. CIA coups in Iran and Chile, proxy wars in Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan, diplomacy wrapped in dollars, power hidden behind policies. It was soft power, but sharp-edged. Not an empire you could see, but one you felt. But power is never free. It costs, and the bill always comes due. By the late 20th century, cracks began to show. Civil rights movements erupted. Faith in the government crumbled after Watergate. 9/11 reminded America that even giants can bleed. Then came the endless wars and the growing divide at home. A sense that maybe the dream had lost its way. Today, America holds more wealth, more weapons, more reach than any nation in human history. It can destroy the world 20 times over and connect it with the press of a button. But here's the question that no tank, no missile, no dollar can answer. What does it mean to be powerful if your people are divided? If trust is eroding? If hope feels like a relic? The rise of America is a story of ambition. Of triumph, yes, but also of contradictions. A nation built on freedom while denying it to many. A land of opportunity that often forgets its most vulnerable. A superpower still searching for a soul. Maybe the real story isn't how America rose. Maybe it's whether it can rise again. Not in might, but in meaning. Because history remembers strength, but it honors those who used it wisely. And maybe, just maybe, true power isn't about how loudly a nation can speak, but whether the world still listens when it whispers.